You know what a black woman like you is doing in this part of town? That's what he said, hand already twitching near the holster, voice all threat and no curiosity. Next to him, his buddy's got his gun out already pointing like I might pull a bazooka from my purse instead of, the keys to a 2012 silver sedan with the windows rolled down because it's 100 degrees in the shade. Yeah, that happened right here in America, broad daylight. And the joke? I didn't flinch, didn't argue, just kept my hands where they could see them eyes straight ahead, cold and flat. To them, my skin was the threat, my silence was an attitude, and the story should have ended with me face down and cuffed for having the audacity to exist in a good neighborhood. But you want to know the twist? Not 10 seconds into this little show of power, a call came through the radio, cold enough to freeze the air. That woman you just pressed up on? Director of the FBI. Yeah, I was the boogeyman they were so sure they'd bag. Let me back up a sec. That morning, the sun was like a laser on the street, all heat mirage and empty sidewalk. I'd pulled up to a quiet block, double-checked the files in my bag, and leaned into the back seat for a water bottle. No siren, no warning, just a black SUV hugging my bumper, so close I could see the outline of two white men in the windshield. The older one Lyle Ways, stomping around town like he owns it, is out of the car before it stops moving. No permit sticker, he snaps, all righteous. I try to keep it light. Good afternoon, officer, anything wrong? But he's not in the mood for manners. No sticker. Black woman. This neighborhood. Noon. You tell me. That's when a younger one, Briggs, big and loud, starts circling the car, chest puffed. Out. Hands on the roof. His voice, man, you know the type. Hungry for a show. I don't give him one. I step out slow, every move measured just like I was taught. Now, I wasn't resisting, wasn't running, wasn't even angry. But that silenced me refusal to play, scared done settled them way more than yelling ever would have. There's a look they give you like they're looking for the script, protest, panic, beg, whatever. And when you don't hand it over, they get jumpy. Lyle folds his arms. Briggs keeps a hand on his gun, eyes flicking to mine. Name? Where you from? Where you headed? I look at him level, unmoved. If you want answers, ask lawfully. The air changes. They don't like that. It's not the words. It's the certainty, the refusal to shrink. Briggs gets close, boots almost touching mine, hissing, "Don't look at me like that." I don't blink. I'm not looking at him, remembering. And that's the line that makes him twitch. Lyle's watching, arms folded, waiting for me to crack. I don't. He rattles off the grounds for obstruction speech. I'm not obstructing, I say, just making sure this is lawful. The pause is long, heavy. They realize I'm not some civilian they can roll over. Control is a hell of a drug. When they lose it, their fallback is violence. Lyle gives the nod, and Briggs slams my arm behind me, pins me against the hood. The metal is burning. He tightens the cuffs till my wrists sting. Keys, wallet, phone all dumped on the roof like trash. A few folks pass by, glance away. One guy in a cafe actually picks up his phone, aims the camera, but Lyle is quick. Put it down or you're interfering. $10, 000 fine. The man stops recording. That's all it takes. Fear beats justice every time. At least, that's what they think. I'm bleeding just a trickle from where the cuff bit too deep, but I stay silent. Not fear, not pride. Just knowing any word I say will get twisted. You could have made this easy, Briggs mutters. Lyle rifles through my wallet, pauses in nondescript gray card. What's this, he asks. I look up. A warning, but not one you can read. I say it flat, eyes on the street. Across the hood, a red drop hits white, pain impossible to miss, unless you're pretending you don't see. Fast forward back seat of the patrol car, blood drying around the metal. They don't book me. No mug shot. No paperwork. Just dump me in a windowless room, 2 chairs, bad coffee, 1 buzzing fluorescent light. Briggs saunters in, trying to play tough. What were you doing in that neighborhood? I hold his gaze. Thought roads in America weren't divided by color. He flinched chestiny, but real. I'm following protocol. Good. I tell him, hope you've got it in writing. Lyle barges in with a file. He starts to log subject uncooperative. Then his phone buzzes. He answers, voice on a line so cold it chills the room. Terminate all action. Federal unit en route. Stay in the room. Lyle's face loses color. He hangs up, looking through me now instead of at me. Briggs whispers, "Who is she?" Lyle says nothing. Some people never make the papers, but they have enough power to shut down a department with a phone call. That's me. That day, 10 minutes later, a tall woman in a black suit walks in, no badge, just presence. She slides a file across the table. Release her immediately. Orders from the department. She lays another file down federal level. Every action from this point will be entered into the federal record. She turns to leave. You have the right to remain silent, but everything you do is now permanent. I stand up, roll my sleeve down over the marks, look at Lyle and Briggs. No hate, no anger, just the cold reality of someone who just got to look at the system from both sides. I chose not to reveal who I was, I say, and you just shot yourselves in the foot. Nobody answers. There's nothing to say. Afterward, back at headquarters, I go straight to my office. My assistant asks if I'm okay. I'm fine. The system isn't. I dig out the file, dismissed complaints from the last decade. Lyle's name pops up twice. Both closed. Insufficient evidence. Briggs, too, does not meet threshold. I start writing a new report. How many buried files before we bother to dig? I don't mention the cuffs or the blood. I don't need to. Some officers don't need a gun to kill. They use humiliation. I send the report up. This time, it doesn't vanish into the void. In Northgate PD, the fallout comes fast. Chief Holcomb calls a meeting. Lyle stammers about the report, tries to clean it up, but every change is logged. Every edit is time-stamped. Briggs says, I didn't know who she was. Holcomb just says, that's why you never should have treated her like no one. The Fed's Aravino warning, no press. Internal files get pulled. Lyle's lies surface. Reed, another officer, hands in his resignation, says, I won't be complicit. For the first time, someone stands up, walks out, and the rest of the house feels it shake. Back in D.C., my case triggers a review of all closed complaints dismissed for no serious harm. Faces and stories reemerge. Kids cuffed for not answering in English. Teens harassed for reading on the curb. Mothers watch their sons thrown to the ground for attitude. A hearing, real and raw, unfolds, no cameras, just testimony. Each person who speaks is a crack in the armor. Every memory a line that refuses to be erased. As investigations grow, a petition to reinstate Lyle circulates among the diehards' frontline brotherhood. Protect our own, right or wrong. But more officers quietly pull back, erasing their names, stepping away. Reed, the one who walked out, meets with me. I ask him if I hadn't been the director, what would have happened? He doesn't sugarcoat it. You'd have spent the night in a cell. No apology. No accountability. Just another attitude, report, and a silent release. I ask why he didn't stay silent like the others. Because I didn't want to be part of that story. My work gets pushback-ins cry about handcuffing the cops. Old guard officials try to nudge me out with pretty words. You're shaking trust in law enforcement. I tell them, if a system collapses because of the truth, it deserved to collapse a long time ago. They don't say much after that. Behind the scenes, though, a petition to keep me quietly racks up signatures, people who want change but are scared to speak. I don't answer the calls for interviews, don't take the glory. This story isn't about me. One morning, I get a letter from a fourth grader named Kayla. She writes, I want to be like you. Not flashy, but make people think twice. You didn't yell, but everyone listened. I fold her letter next to a faded photo of my father, never loud. Always steady, the kind of man who taught me not to look away. Maybe the world isn't fair yet, but if even a child can see it, maybe it's not too late to fix. Some days, the quiet is heavy, case files keep coming, the pushback gets louder, but so does the support. Sometimes, the only thing keeping you upright is a line in red ink. Don't look away. And when they try to push you out, when the next person tries to close the book, if enough of us keep our eyes open, maybe, just maybe, justice becomes more than a word we whisper when no one else is listening. So tell me, where do you stand? When the system picks silence over justice, do you look away, or do you write the truth down, even if your hand shakes? Share your story. Let the world know what side are you on.